up because I double clicked on it and I began the broadcast and ended it all in the same click, click. So I'm going to go in there now. Desafortunadamente or afortunadamente, I have to go into all of the social media channels in order to let everyone else know that unfortunately we have a new link for the live right now. I'm going to get this together. I just hope that somebody is going to care. I don't know anymore. I don't know. And I have to go to the Orisha Wisdom Community to let them know. I'm on now. At least I'm hoping that I'm on now. Let me see. I mean, my camera is showing. It says that I'm on. So now I'm going to need to go back to that particular live to make sure. I'm going to mute. Oh, no, this is already muted. That's good. And then go to the Orisha Wisdom Community because it always happens. We're going to get this together. New link. It's going to have to be enough. Oh, no, we have Patreons, so we have them. And I'm going to let them know really, really quick. So in the meantime, if you haven't, we have a Patreon. I'm going to log in. I'm going to input that into the chat as soon as I let them know. New link for the live right now, as I'm starting to, of course, figure out how the hell to do all this stuff. Pero I'm going to figure this out. Eventually, we're going to have like 4 straight ones that is going to work. So in the meantime, let me go into ours to see how we are doing and to see if anybody's there. I hope so, bendito. I literally clicked onto it to start the live, and then just like that, I clicked like it was like 2 quick clicks, and that was it. Okay, good. I see me, so I'm good. I'm gonna get off of this one to see if anybody's there. I hope so, bendito. I literally there we go. Yes, what's up, people? So I'm so sorry. Like I said, I just went in and I decided, I've been set up for the past 20 minutes. I said, we're good to go. Tube, that's why you can't count your chicks before they hatch. I'm just saying for a friend. So, my son made me a hibiscus tea because I love it. Now I just spilled some in my tan pants. And on top of that, is bitter as hell. Oh, God. And so, whatever antioxidants it has, holy hell. All right, everybody. So, I've chosen, I'm going to tell you today's podcast episode was going to be a fun one, so I thought, because remember, I don't listen once I record them and they're out. That's it. I don't hear them again, and it's done. However, when I heard the episode, at least the beginning, it gave me such let me go into the chat. You guys are gonna help me. It gave me such a like ick. It gave me ick. And I was giving kudos to my godmother. I didn't hear the rest. I don't think I am there to hear it because I we're going to have to hear it at some point. I don't want to. I feel that I'm not ready to listen to me praising the person that has pretty much shit on me. And I might revisit it because I know that I'm not the only one who has had bad relationships with their godparents. And I want you to know that for those people who have had that, you're not alone, but it sucks. And I don't want to hear all the good things and how highly I thought of her when even after this all has been done, it's just has been bad. So I chose another one. And the topic that we chose is I am new and I want to divinate. So I think it was déjame ver. We talked about the prohibitions of readings. I think that was done a bit ago. And I figured that this could be a good segue because a lot of people, they watch videos, they watch videos, they watch more videos, they buy books, they think that this is something you can start. Now, I will say that I have met some people who are very gifted. They've had this since they were little. Bendición to all of my mayores, my besties that are here. It's bitter. I'm gonna have to teach him how to make those teas. So with hibiscus, he put a whole bunch in there. Y eso está agrio. It is so bitter. All right. So we are going to not listen to that one because I'm not mentally ready or emotionally ready to listen to something like that. And I feel that some people really are cemented in thinking that they're doing the right thing. I understand that. But how do you? Like, there's so much information that you can find out there to see if you're right or if you're wrong, or, if you've learned or you've been taught wrong. And I find very important, I've heard santeros that say that even during the first year of the yaworaje, they don't let their yawos go online to research anything. And I'm like, but anyway, I digress. So we're going to get started, and I'm going to pause it in between because I'm going to share something with you that only a couple may know. And I'm going to try to figure out how to get you the opportunity to get it because it's something so brand new. Like I literally did it today. So anyhow, let's get started. Like we used to say, let's get this party started.
You're listening to the Orisha Wisdom Podcast, Session 15. Welcome to the Orisha Wisdom Podcast, where positivity and spirituality create an enhanced life's journey with the wisdom of Ifa and Orisha. I am your host, Iya Omileti Olubumi. Thank you so much for listening, for being here, for sharing your time with me. I am Iya Omileti, and today's episode is a very important one and very, very dear to my heart. It is one of the biggest questions that I get asked quite often, and it's not just by the newest people. This was something that I did quite a bit when I was much younger in the traditions. When I was an Alejo, I wanted to get down and do this. So today's episode is I am new and I want to divinate.
I have a feeling I'm going to have a lot of rescinding to do on this one.
Let's get started.
I dropped the tea.
When you are new to the traditions, Okay, and even not so new. You may sound like this. I want to know this. I want to know that. I want to learn everything. But one of those things that you want to know how to do is to, dun dun dun, divinate. It is such an important part of our traditions to divine. That is how we communicate with our entities, let's just say that, our deities, our energies. I think that's a better word. How we connect to the correct energies so that we are guided wherever we need to go. What you do now? I don't know. Let's see. You may go out and purchase the OB book. It is well known to give you step by step to divinate, right? And then you go, you buy it, you go to your 200 Facebook groups and your 100 forums, and you scour there all these things. Don't forget YouTube, because you have to, look at a bunch of YouTube videos on how to divine. And then you are feeling confident. What do? You go to the Botanica, of course, and you're going to buy yourself some shells. Or, you might just go to the corner store and get yourself a coconut or two so that you could start chopping it off and hacking it so that it looks like it did in the video. Okay? And then you go in front of your stone, which you picked up at the park with so much love. And this is your Eshu now. Or you go in front of your warriors, or you go in front of your bóveda, and you are ready to divine. You print out some prayer that you got from somewhere, and boom, you are ready to go. And then you start. Should I go to this place? Should I do this? Do I do this? And let the shells fall where they may. Now, you're either happy or upset from your answers. And you will do one of these two things. You will either keep asking because, you have to get a better answer, or you have to get an answer that you understand, or you just stop. You're like, I don't know. This is it. I can't. I'm just going to take this for the value that it is. It said that, no, I am not going to do this, or no, I'm not going here, so I'm not going to do it. End of story, right? My question always has been, how do you know that this was done right? So usually I get well, it's very easy. It's a yes or no question. The 2 up, the 2 down means yes. The all up, that means yes with blessings. The 3, the ones that are face down, they're, showing you 3 face down and 1 up. That means no. And the 4 downs mean heck no. So it's right, right? So I have a story for you. This is not my story, I promise, but it is one of the best stories that show what I'm trying to convey. So this happened to my husband. So somebody called him and said, Baba, I need to speak with you right away. This is all wrong. I need your help. I need to come in for divination. So of course, he's like, well, what do you need? This is urgent. What happened? And they arranged a timing. And of course, she's desperate. She's falling apart. She's crying. What happened? She says, well, Baba, I went to Eshu and I asked, Eshu, should I pay my rent? But Eshu clearly said no. So of course I didn't pay my rent. I asked again the next month. And again, Eshu said no. So now I'm being evicted from my apartment. I was not there for that reading. I can't tell you what happened. I don't know how my husband just kept his face straight, because yes, the answer was no. But should that have even been a question to ask? Of course you have to pay your rent, your mortgage, your bills. You have to pay those. Why would you ask? whether these should be paid. I think that she needed to do something else and she wanted to allocate funds to something else. And, she went to Eshu. She wanted to know what he thought. And he thought that she should not pay it. Yes, she got evicted. No, that could not be saved. But the question and the lesson here is sometimes you may know the mechanics of divining, but there's a lot more that goes to that. For example, don't ask Eshu for something because something like that, he's going to teach you a lesson. And you may not like the lesson, but you will learn it. But you may not like how it comes about. One of the things that I have to say is that divination takes years to get a good handle on it. I tell folks that I do not divine for other people because it is scary. It's a lot of responsibility to have someone's life, spiritual life in your hands. You have to be really good at your craft. So even to this day, when I divine, if it's something small, like casting for an ademu or something like that, I don't mind doing that by myself. I'm pretty comfortable with doing that. But if it's a full divination session, I want somebody there watching over me and critiquing, because there's a lot of things that their experience, there's just no price on that. The things that the elders of our house know, the things that my godmother knows, even in how I'm phrasing the question, the outcome could be completely different. There's a lot of things that happen. There's a lot of dynamics. It's not just throwing the shells and asking a question and that's it. C'est la vie or goodbye and everything is going to be okay. So I have a couple of things. This should be taught under...
I'm going to stop. I think this is an episode that is going to be highly, highly sensitive to some people. And I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this. Here's the question that I'm going to pose to you. I think there is a difference between divining in a closed system, meaning the Diloguns, for example. There's also a difference between asking a question to tarot or a pendulum, or there's so many other ways. What's that thing called with the two little, I don't know what it's called. Don't kill me. Don't shoot me. The thing that you hold, it looks like two sticks, like one that you're holding, and then one goes over here. I forgot what it's called. There's a pendulum. There are runes, scrying mirrors. There's so many ways to divinate that do not require. I was actually taking notes because there's something I'm going to show you actually in the middle. I'm going to show it soon. Because every time I go last, like, nobody gets the stuff that I offer. And I'm like, why not? It's nice stuff. But anyway, I was thinking of, I agree with a portion of this. I agree with the portion of, I can't throw ikins. I can't throw the Diloguns if I'm not initiated and taught in that system. I can't throw, what's those shells for palo if I'm not scratched? And whatever system it is, if I'm not initiated into that system that gives me the right to divine under that system, then I don't have no right. However, I wrote a word, and that's why I'm like, oh, we're going to have to rescind. This is a rescinding video. The word that I wrote was dependency. And as I'm listening to it, and I'm printing some stuff because I'm getting ready to do some stuff, I just thought I was going to take notes, pero I can't, because I'm thinking back to even the time that this came out, and before that, even more than a decade before, because these type of teachings, I think, were very, very smart to make you dependent on the priests of said house and leave you indefenso, defenseless. And I would love to know what your take is on this, because now that I talk to many priests of many different lineages, many just different, not even in our religion, like different places, I realized that if I would have had a better understanding of, even if it is simple divining, and I would have been confident in that, maybe I would have gotten messages early to get the fuck out. Not to give people babies, not to get initiated, not to give money, for parents to initiate their own children. Like, I wouldn't have done that. However, here we are. And I think that the taking away that independence left me personally vulnerable. So what do you all think about this? There's a few of us in here. I just want to know, do you agree? Do you disagree? I still don't think that people should just do the diloguns. However, I think it's nice that people start learning about oduns. I don't think that there's anything against that. Here are some people, like if you have warriors, I think that at that point you are allowed to throw obi, because that was one of the first instructions I got. This is what you're going to say. This is what you're going to do, and blah, blah, blah. Have fun. Call me if you have any questions. I mean, it was like that. Second time around, pretty much same thing. So you do have some type of independence. And I believe that this episode is just how we were raised in the traditions, to be so dependent that it stripped us away of having our own spirit guides, our own ancestors, having a way of them to communicate with us. So what do you all think? I don't see anything on the chat unless I'm wrong, but I will continue and I'll keep an eye on the chat. And I know there's a delay, so.
Supervision. Divination is definitely not something that you can learn from a book. Having said that,
yes, you can.
Yes, you can learn the dynamics, the mechanics of it. This means that, that means that. But to really learn it, a book cannot teach you that. Another good thing is which prayers to do before. What happens when a certain odu falls down, or when a certain throw happens? What happens? How to ask the questions. Sometimes the how, just the how. And here I'm thinking, I'm a pretty smart cookie. I can ask a question, and sometimes they're like, yeah, you need to rephrase that. That is not clear. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not clear? It's in English. Do you want it in Spanish? I could do it in Spanish. But no. Sometimes the way you put those words together and how clear, it has to be so crystal clear that if a yes comes out, this is the avenue that I can take. If a no comes out, this is the avenue that I can take. So you have to be clear and unambiguous. Another thing is, you have to know when you are divining when to investigate further and when to just let it go. There are some folks that I have seen with my own two eyes that they will continue to cast until the shells fall in a more favorable way for what they're asking for. And what I have learned with that is that sometimes lessons are learned and not the best way that you want. So if you were looking for a yes, should I go to that party? And it was no, 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 maybe, no, no, no. Finally, and you asked 12 times, and on the 13th, it says yes. And you're like, you see, it said yes, I'm going. we have to kind of think about that. And then there's some areas that you have to investigate a little further to see what can be done. Another good thing is how to end a casting, a divining session. How do you end that? And how to end that session if you are seeking help. So you may be stuck. I know I've been stuck and I'm not perfect. And I've seen other priests who are stuck and they have to seek counsel. This doesn't make them any less priests. It's just when you've hit your wall and you need some help. So how do you do that? And no matter how thorough the book, experience cannot beat the value and the price than any book or video. It has to be something that you are learning under someone else, under the tutelage of someone else. These traditions are communal. And I tell folks, some folks are like, well, I'm not ready to go to the community, I've been told. Other people is, well, some people in the community are not the best, so I'm going to stick this one out by myself and I'm just going to do this and do Orisha by myself. And I'm here to tell you, these traditions are communal. Your experience is all your own, but you need a community. You need priests in order to make this whole thing move the way that it is intended. So you need folks there to help you. Like I said before, this is not like a solitary witch. You really cannot do this by yourself. You need folks, especially when you are learning. Your focus needs to be developing yourself, developing your connection with your ancestors, and reaching out to the best spiritual house for you. Which brings me to the next point that I have. You have to find a good priest to teach you how to cast. This could be classes that you take. And I've seen some great classes. They're done with obi, with the coconut pieces, and also with the shells. I've seen really good classes where the priest is there and the students, and it's very few of them. It's not a whole class of 500 students or 50 students, 10 or less. And everybody has their own shells or their own coconut pieces. And it's been, from what I understand, it's been a very, very good experience for those people who have taken it. Some folks have brought in their issues, and it has been real questions asked, real things, and they're all going one by one because the experience of it, of what to ask and how to cast and how to go to the next question, because it's not just one question you're going to ask. After that, what's going to happen? You have to come there with a plan. So you can find somebody who will teach classes, and these are very good, especially if they're working with you. And I have seen some virtual classes, but they are watching what you are doing, what you're asking, what came out. And of course, the live ones that are done with you and the priest right across from each other are amazing. So that's one way. Of course, you can, if you have a godparent, definitely go to your godparent. Now, your godparent may not be a good diviner. That's okay. But if you have a godparent, he or she would be able to point you to someone who can teach you. Make it your business to learn that. So especially if you have your warriors, so you can start communicating early. And that takes care of the two best avenues that I have seen to find a priest or work with your godparent to teach you.
All right. We're going to pause here. We only got maybe a little bit over 11 minutes left to the podcast. So I read your comments, and Esteban writes, back in my day, my elders taught me as I went, but I never did any type of divining. I'm sure that's what you meant on my own. That was a big no. And okay, and yes, thank you. I was looking for that, the divining rods. The point that I wanted to make is that yes, we should learn from the people that we are learning from in the traditions that we're learning in. But I don't think that you should give up full autonomy in just allowing that. I just feel very, very differently now just because of what I've been through. And I feel that we could have better decisions if we have a base. And one of the questions was, for example, like how to end a session when you're stuck. That's simple. You get a reading. Very simple. Like, I was throwing cards and this is the question that I was asking. Can you help me kind of sort through that? I'm kind of stuck. I was throwing the whatever it is, I was divining with this and this is what I got. Help me. I'm a little bit stuck. What do you think about that? And I've really wow, I just realized I changed to a full 180. I'm not, no, not a full dependency. I feel that that's too much power for somebody to have. So I understand. So if Esteban is learning the ikins and the opele, I think that's different, but I don't think that you should let go of everything else if that's something that you had already or you were starting to look into or something calls you. Because I feel that sometimes things are given to you to help you, to assist you, and then you are going to just not. Does that make sense what I'm saying, or no, not really? I really want to know because I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Just saying. I'm trying to download something because that is what we're doing. Pero no puedo. Let me see. I'm going to do just one, because I have something to show you. And now I'm going to go into the chat to see what do you all have to say about that. Again, I am not talking about the in our traditions, like learning that. I'm talking about other things that you may need to learn in order to, I don't know, help you decide certain things. Like the tarot, I think it's a really nice example. I think that giving too much, I'm trying to find a better way to put this out there. This is not even showing the right color. You'll see what I mean. I'm trying to show you guys something, pero I'm trying to take a picture. A ver if I post it and send it to you guys, pero no puedo. I just find that giving up too much autonomy is dangerous. And how do I know that? Because that's where I saw myself in. I felt so defenseless. So defenseless. It's funny because I still don't know what happened to my set of runes that I made with my own two hands. Oh my God, that had herbs and everything in it. And that was the first thing I connected with. And just from my marriage home, just somehow disappeared. And I missed it. To me, that helped me through a lot of situations. And I remember how I was made fun of. Like, oh my God, that's so irresponsible. Why would you, try to give a reading to someone else? That you got to leave that to the people who know. And I'm like, we weren't asking about life or death. We were just asking about whatever it was. And that's how you learn, with your friends and families that are willing to put themselves out there. So yeah, I don't see any comments. So we are going to either continue or, you know what? I was trying to download something to let you guys see something. I've only shown 3 people this. So you can't leave me by myself for too long because I do things and I get into a lot of trouble. I really do. But I want to show you something. Okay. Oh, wait. I got to go into here so that I could see what you guys see, at least over here. There we go. Look at this. Do you see this? Who's that? Do you know who that is? That's Ochanla. Do you know who this is? Wait, this way. Right here. Ah! That's Oba. Do you know who this is? If you don't know, we're going to fight. And do you know who this is? That's Oshun. And do you know who this is? She came out gorgeous. It's just you can't tell. This lighting is not great. But here's the thing. These are not stickers. No, no. This is my hole punch. And what is a hole punch made out of? Metal, people. Metal. Check this out. These are magnets. I know. I'm so super stoked. I'm like, you see? That's why you can't leave me by myself. Because I do stuff. Wait, is that metal? I'm trying to find the other side. No. There we go. See? So this is the exact first set that I've totally, like, from the prototype. Look at that. It's 3x3. And I am going to be, it's not even in Etsy yet, man. And I'm going to put them out on Etsy at some point. But I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to get yours first. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but it's going to be something with divine feminine energy. And I was trying to get at least a picture because you guys have already seen it, and I'm just super stoked. And it sounds really silly, but to me, I love making things that are meaningful to me. And these are not the best pictures because I haven't taken the professional pictures that I do make. But I let me know if you want me to show them to you. And I'm trying to see if I can create something. Okay, so we're going to do this one. And okay, so it took it. I was trying to do a picture of all 5, but apparently the link, see, it's not letting me. So it's not letting me to put a picture. I don't know why, but I'm going to I'll try to see if I can make a smaller picture while we're still playing with the podcast. What do you think, though? Honestly, what do you think? Espérate. Here's my hole punch. Bling. Bling, bling. Bling. Oh, wait. We need bling. And can we do... No, we can't do one on top of the other. So I just wanted to show you that. I'm pretty excited. I think that magnets are fun. I think they're great to have. And I have a cabinet, and now I like, because I have an idea that I'm going to make them so they can all fit each other. Anyway, let me know if you guys are interested, and I'll drop the link. And I hope you are, because believe it or not, it's not even out yet. It was just an idea, and I went with it. All right, so I hope let me know. And we are going to continue with the podcast.
Another point. Please take notes. Just grab a little notebook and just take notes of what happened. Take notes of what you noticed, the question and what happened and what the priest did afterwards. Take notes. They will be so helpful later. This links up to another tip that I have. Observe when others are casting. There is so much to learn. I am pretty lucky that in our house, sometimes a regular divining session just becomes into a class. And sometimes we're like, how did you even come up with that question? Just to hear the elder priests say, well, if this Odun says this and this and that, then, and this fell like this, and this is the Orisha that we're casting, it only makes sense that we go this route. And this is why I say experience trumps everything. It's just the way to go. So observe when others are casting, because there's so much to learn. And with the tip before that, take notes. Please take notes. Now here's another tip. Don't do this in the middle of divination, but wait till later. Ask questions. If you have a question of why did you do that? Or how did you know to ask for this? Or why, whatever whys or whats you want to know about regarding that session, if it's especially not too personal, if it's more of the mechanics of the why, ask questions. If you're working with a really good priest who is a very good teacher and has that ashe, this should not be a problem. Just ask questions. For those of you who have warriors, you want to cast to them. If you want to cast, and I suggest that you start there as well, you should definitely reach out to the priest that did the ceremony so that you could receive your warriors and ask them to teach you how to cast to your warriors. It is their responsibility to teach you anyhow. And this would be a good way for you to start getting, I guess, real life experience on casting. Now, let's talk about casting for Egun. A lot of folks want to do this. A lot of folks have their altars and they want to speak to their Eguns. Please work with a priest. Please, please. I can't stress this one enough. Please.
I'm going to stop for a second. I'm literally cringing. I'm literally cringing. Okay, so yes, work with a priest, but not everybody that is a priest is a good diviner. And there are people that don't even have Ocha, and guess what? They are doing great things with, their divination. It could be tarot. It could be whatever it is, and not just a priest. And I feel absolutely awful that this is the information that we used to put out there, because I don't think it's wholehearted, like really true, that it just should be for priests only to help you with divining. So I'm just having visceral reactions right now because I don't believe in that anymore. Anyhow, here we are.
There are so many things that can go wrong here. Okay, I have a good one for you. So you're casting to, Auntie Bertha and Grandma Maria and Uncle Bart. I couldn't think of a male name. I'm sorry. So here's the question. How do you know who is answering you? How do you verify that? We just don't know. This is where an experienced priest can really help. And I don't encourage folks to cast to their Eguns for divination sessions because there's so many variables that you need a lot of time and experience to work with them. This is an area that we definitely need priests. Not that we can't ask certain things, like small things, but to have full divination sessions, I think the biggest challenge is who is answering you. And how do you verify that? So I have another situation for you. What happens if now a possession takes place? Let's just say your casting skills are not all that great. You're way too slow. You're just thinking too much of the question and they want to make an appearance. And there's a possession that happens. What's going to happen now? Who is going to take care of you? How are you going to get out of that? What if it's one of those full possessions that you're knocked out and that's it? You're knocked out. Or if it's one of those possessions that you're conscious, but they have control of your body. So what's going to happen next? You've basically called them. So what now? What if they decide to hang out for 6 hours and you were supposed to be at work, 2 hours ago? There's a lot of things to consider, which is why this religion is a very spiritual tradition, but it should be done with respect. And when it comes to divining, the skill.
I'm pausing. I'm having issues. I'm having a lot of issues right now. All right. Uncle Bart. Listen, sometimes I take notes and then I'm like, ay, ¿de dónde salió eso? Like, where did this come from? Okay. So I need people to understand. From the people who are commenting here, I know you and I know you guys have supported me, but I know things about you. And one of the things that I do know is that you guys got divining skills. So here's the thing. This message that is going to be put out is not, it's for the people that are a little bit newer. I am embarrassed that this is something that I said because it gives you fear. It makes you fear your own cuadro espiritual, your own spiritual court. This is what I'm learning now. Your spiritual court is not going to put you in a situation where you are going to get hurt. I've seen this not only with your spiritual court, but I've also seen this with Orisha. And maybe someday I'll talk about where I learned that from. And the story was, yeah. So if you are feeling some type of way, that doesn't mean a full possession is coming. And those are very rare that it just wham, bam, and it hits you. It could be you're feeling buzz. You're losing your breath, your heartbeat. You got, goosebumps. And it could be to say this now, to hear this now, I feel like I was brainwashed for so many years. And I really felt that that was what was right at the time. I really do. And now I don't. I feel that type of teaching that you can't, let's say that you used to scry with a candle. I know people that they don't use cards. They don't use the divining rods. They don't use runes. They don't use pendulums. They use a candle and a cup of water. Y se sientan ahí and they just, oh my God, and they get visions, they get thoughts, they write them down, and lo and behold, that is great. And a message like this one that episode 15 gives an air of fear for your own cuadro espiritual. So before we continue, let me know, do you agree? I just want to know. If you can, no. Oh, yay. for you guys. Oh, you can't do that. Damn it. Okay, how about that? Ay, Dios mío. Oh, that's why. Yay. So I'm going to be going into the chat because I'm having issues listening to this episode because I'm telling you, I felt that that was the right thing at the time. And mira para allá. It wasn't. All right. So oh, gosh. Okay. I'm trying to do something at the same time, pero. And there it is. Oh my God, I did do it. So I'm going to share with you. I was trying to do this because I just finished. That was only one set that I did. And, okay, I'm back. Never be embarrassed. If we don't go through things, we don't grow. I understand that, but like that episode alone, I think had over 900 downloads, man. So it's like over 900 people have consumed that episode. And now we need to we need to go back because if you had an interest in tarot, for example, a lot of us, I'm going to use that one, las barajas, las cartas. We are able to understand the importance of that. La señora de abajo, doña whoever, la vecina who used to throw, and that helped us to go through situations. And I feel very shitty that for years I just kind of like, yeah, but now I'm doing this. This is better than that. And I'm looking back like, oh, hell no, it isn't. Oh, hell to the hell no, it isn't. So now I'm having such a much bigger respect for the different divination systems that you don't need to be initiated to, that you could learn. You could start on your own. You can ask questions. You can read from a book. You can take a class and you can let your intuition go. And that can help you avoid a lot of problems. So we don't have a lot going time left on the podcast episode. I finally was able to create a dang link if you are interested. And I hope you are, because man, mira que lindo. Look, it's a magnet. It's a magnet. Ah, look at that. Oh, esto salió precioso. But it's like the lighting here, it doesn't give it justice because I'm literally in the dark. But I wanted to show you. This is beautiful. Gorgeous. Oh, and I love this olla. Espérate. Aha. So I hope you click on that and get yours. Let me just say this. There are many forms of divination, and in many cultures, as far as our tradition goes, we need to learn from our elders when it comes to throwing obiequele. Of course, I wholeheartedly agree with this. Thank you for that, Baba. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. For those systems, absolutely. Absolutely. Don't do that on your own. Don't do that. That's very, very bad. But if you have your scrying mirror, if you have your barajas, if you have your tarot cards, if you have your pendulum, if you have those things and you've used it, as long as you're not saying Orisha said this, you're fine. If you're asking certain questions, you're checking on your day, you're checking on your energy of the day. If that's what you're doing, I don't see anything wrong with that, because I find that people are able to help you and they're able to give you, not people, your spirit guides are able to give you assistance. Okay. And by the way, I did post that link, which I did while I was doing, listening and taking notes. So here we go. We only got a few more minutes to go.
The experience and the skills are key. I have something else when it comes to ego. What if it is that ego that you wanted to speak to? Let's say it's Auntie Bertha. And what if her character was a bit off? Auntie Bertha was really cool at parties, but she used to rob banks on the weekend and kick kittens on the side of the road whenever she saw them. So you are talking to her and she is there. What kind of advice do you think she's really going to give you? Maybe about your finances or about starting an animal shelter. What advice do you really feel she is going to give you? A lot of folks really think that because a person dies, that's it. They fly off and there are full enlightenment that happens the moment that the last breath is taken. And the truth is they have their own process to go to. And a lot of them still have their own challenges that they had when they were alive. So now you have to also take into account the moral character of that egung. That is, if you verified that it is that egung. So now you have to work on what type of advice do you really think Auntie Bertha is going to give me about, I don't know, maybe saving my money or investing it or starting a business? We just don't know. So there's a lot of variables. And this is why I really say, listen, it's great that you want to divinate, but let's try to do it in a way that will give us less grief. The less possible grief, the better.
I rescind that. You can do your own thing as long as it is not within a closed system. Like I wouldn't throw, I don't know, Ikins, let's say. I wouldn't do that. That's not my lane. And if I was learning it, I would do it in front of the person that's teaching me after I've gone through all the correct rites. But don't let go of your things, because when that happens, it's like they distance you from your spirit guides, because your spirit guides may be trying to tell you something, but when you're too dependent, bueno, that's it. Let's keep going.
So here are basically the 5 big points when it comes to divining. 1, you have to seek a teacher. Seek a priest. It doesn't have to be your godparent. If you don't have one, you can just find a priest that teaches, and there are many that have excellent classes out there. So find a good teacher. Number 2, observe. If you do go to any type of event, check it out when they're casting. Even if they're casting on, I don't know, what Ademu is going to be given, perk up your ears and just observe. Observe how things are done so that you can use this as experience for yourself. 3, take notes. Take notes, because you will have forgotten. Find out like, oh, so this is how it came to this, and you jot that down. Take notes. They will be priceless for you later, because how you understand the world is very different how I will understand the world or the person next to me. So take notes. 4, ask questions. Ask questions. You have to ask because sometimes you just don't know how they got there. And this may have been, a priest of 20 years and you've seen him just, do something really quick. And then like, how did you come to that? Ask. You might be very pleasantly surprised that they're willing to share with you on how that came about. Maybe they had learned 10 years ago about this pataki, and that's how he knew to ask for something. There's a lot of things that go into play when it comes to divining. And the last, when it is your turn, practice. And you practice, and I don't mean with major questions. You practice if it's with your warriors. Practice doing small things. And this you need to do with a priest. We have come to the end of this episode, number 15. Oh my goodness, 15 episodes. Thank you so much for listening, for hanging out with me. For show notes, please go to www.orishawisdom.com/session 15.
That doesn't even exist anymore on the website,
5 steps, and even the link to the Obi book, because it is a good book, will be there. If you are interested in joining our community, definitely check us out. We are at www.facebook.com/groups/Orisha Wisdom. That is, or you could just look for the Orisha Wisdom Community
That's
on
still there.
Facebook. Again, thank you so much. May the elevated ancestors and all Orisha bless you immensely. Until next time, Odabo.
So
Thank you
what
for
did you
listening to the
guys
Orisha Wisdom
think
podcast.
of this episode?
Be sure to check out the show notes at
I still agree with all of you on the you
Can't get enough of Orisha Wisdom?
throw
Check us out
the
at
lagoon, for
orishawisdom.com
example.
and subscribe
Even
to
the
our
throwing of
community.
obi can be a little confusing,
Remember,
but it's
the
not that
wisdom of
hard.
Ifa and
I think we
Orisha
need to
is all
really
around us. Be blessed, and until next time,
independence. And I find it that now if somebody highly discourages you from connecting with your spiritual guides or your own divination system, there's a problem there. And I'm not a fan of that anymore just because of what I went through. That may not be how you feel, and you may feel like you need to fully submit to your godparent. I just can't do that anymore. I found that left me feeling defenseless, that did not help me in the way that I thought it was going to help me. So anyhow, I'm going to go into the chat now because, okay, did you know if you don't have access to Obi or Chamalongos that are, you can use, yes. And I remember a certain somebody that used to think that was funny. And I'm like, wow, I guess they really don't know. Come to find out, funny enough, I spoke to a priestess at that time. Uy, yo no sé cuántos años tenía. I don't remember how many years. She's definitely her 20s, I think. She was definitely her 20s back then. You know what she told me? She said, I've seen elders do this. And she was like, clutching her spiritual pearls. And you know what they did? They didn't have pennies. I don't know what happened to the coconut or the whatever. They grabbed leaves. And these leaves had a bright green and a darker side on the bottom. They grabbed leaves, and she told me that she was just like, no, for real? And I was like, did that read? She's like, yeah, that happened. And so the thing is, as long as you have the, yo no sé, I don't know about that one, but it literally, like, it stunned me that we put limitations on things. However, these were elders that did it. Even her elders were there. So this is how they did it. And we have our own things if we have them or if we're seeking them. So back to the tarot. If that is what you like and that's what you want to kind of study, you can do that. No one should stop you from doing it. No one should prevent you. No one should do anything to go against that. Now, I've seen people that go a little bit cray-cray, and then you can get some assistance. And the community is wonderful. You can absolutely get help. So I am going to, although I know it's on that is the PayPal link to get your hands on these 5. I haven't posted it to Etsy yet. I haven't even taken professional pictures yet, but we're going to be doing that. So I just wanted to let you know that this is here, this is available. And I also wanted to take the time to thank each and every one of you on a Thursday night. I'm trying to do better. At least we did better with, technology, except that I clicked so fast. I clicked like start broadcasting and then go live. And so I clicked on the go live, and then it's like I double clicked so fast and it read start live, and I'm like, ah! Anyhow, guys, I just wanted to say thank you. I want you all to have a great night. And seriously, I don't know. Do you think anyone is going to like it? Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself. I actually started to print some of the backs, and you got to see some of the errors. Like, I was trying my best to print, and all kinds of things happened. So again, this is a labor of love that I've done over the years, and now a brand new one is up. So anyhow, I wanted to say good night. I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Que sus guías espirituales, may all of your spiritual guides, may they just, may they always have the strength to communicate with you, and may you be open to communicating with them. I think that this episode itself, and I didn't think it was going to be one of those difficult ones, but I still agree. Don't be throwing dilogunes and stuff like that. Don't do that. That you need initiation and you need some assistance. But what is it? The evil. Don't do what I did. I love it. I love it. Yes. So I appreciate all of you for coming in and for just being there. And I love the fact that you all are chatting. And I really appreciate you guys. And please, for the new people who are coming in to look at the replay, read the comments, and you'll be surprised how much you'll be able to learn, especially from people who have been around. And I'm really interested actually in making a brand new episode and a couple of videos if necessary in order to talk about this, because I've known people that they basically punished them for following their spirit guides, and meanwhile their spirit guides were warning them of this, that, and the other. So don't do that. Stay with your, spiritual things. And then you're going to be able to, they'll know how to, they'll be like, oh, she likes tarot. We need to communicate through the tarot. And that way she'll be able to get our messages. So there is a science that I can't explain because in our little tiny minds, we don't understand a lot of things, but it is true. We could be doing more. And yes, those priests have access to certain types of divination, but it's not like you're a nothing. Anyhow, I love you all. I will see you next week. How about that? Let's do this again next week. All right. I will see you guys soon.